Hey guys, this is Aaron coming at you with a video about happiness. Now, happiness affects all of us. It's a big deal, and it really drives a lot of the results that we get in our lives. So what I want to do is I want to break down what makes us happy. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions about this, and they're always trying to come up and figure it out. And I think the best one I've ever heard is Tony Robbins' belief on it, which is, in his opinion, just the pursuit of a worthy ideal goal and seeing progress. So when I think about the goal that you might have or the goals that I might have and seeing that progress, that does ultimately bring happiness. That does ultimately cause you to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting there, and be encouraged and step by step. But there's some issues about that. There's ways you have to protect it. So I kind of feel like, to an extent, we all are on a path, right? And as we're on this path, and we're trying to make it, we're trying to get where we want to be and make it happen. I think that a lot of us, as we're crouching, we're pulling, we're struggling, and we're trying to do what we need to do, and we're not sure what to do. And as I guess the best way to explain it would be, as we look behind us, there's a rope, and this rope is tied, to our past. And if we don't look down, we don't see progress. What ends up happening on this measuring stick of life is that we don't feel like we measure up against others. And sadly, a lot of our dreams are based on what we see others doing and not what we want. But we can change that. We can change our dreams. We can make them focus in on what we want and our desired goal. So if you think about the goal, right here, this is where you're trying to get, and you're pulling forward the past. What if there was a way that we could cut that right there? What if we could just scissor that off so that we could sprint and run as fast as possible, right? And get exactly where we want to get to. What if that was possible? What if there was a way to make that happen? First, let me just explain a little bit more about what this is. So when you get out there and you get ready to run and you're taking off and you're pushing forward, what makes you say this probably won't happen is your past, because in the past it didn't happen. What makes you say is, I can't afford it, is because just a week ago your checking account went negative. Just a few days ago you had an issue with something else. That's what makes you go, I can't. It's based on your past, on what's happened to you. But if you really focus forward and say, what if my past could change? What if I could claim a past that's not even here yet? What if I could claim this as my past? What if this right here could be my new past? Instead of this right here, which is from here back. What if I could claim this and say, man, what would it be like if I was standing like right here? What if I used my imagination and I thought about what it would be like to be, just standing in this new place with my family all around me, with everyone here, doing the dreams that I want for my family. What would that be like if I was there, if I imagined that? What if I was there right now? What if I was able to see in my mind's eye, imagined this place? What if I was able to see in my mind's eye that I was here, my company was perfect, my employees were perfect, my training systems were dialed in. Everything was put together. And instead of being here, I was here in this place. What if I could imagine that? And then when I looked backwards and saw the gap between here and here, right? I saw this gap between here and here. And I was able to look at that and say, that gap is about to be gone. That gap is what I'm fighting. You're not fighting to get this goal. You're fighting to imagine yourself ahead right here. There'll always be a new goal and a new goal and a new goal. But if you can imagine yourself here and take that past and go, wow, my checking account's full. I'm paying for my entire family to go out to eat. I'm buying the equipment that I need to for my business. I'm doing the things that I need to get to that next level. I'm at the top of my game health-wise. I'm the best salesman I know. I'm the best leader I know. I'm the best speaker I know. I'm the best teacher, instructor. Whatever it may be, you feel like you're your best self. You're becoming more, okay? When you get to that place and you can go, I'm not this guy anymore, I'm this guy. I'm this guy. And you imagine yourself in your mind's eye there. And then you look over your shoulder and you see yourself way back there. What would you say to yourself? How would you tell yourself, come on, come on? What would you do? You know, one of the biggest differences between people that are more successful than you right now and yourself is the fact that where you're sitting right now in your seat, that position has been brought to you by all the people that were put around you, and they told you what you could be, and you believed them, right? So if you're sitting in a seat that mom told you deserved when you were a kid, then that's what you own. Or at some point, somebody told you didn't deserve it, and you said, I'm going to prove you wrong, I'm going to go get it. At some point, though, you agreed or disagreed with the thought, and you claimed a position, a level in life, and you went and owned it. And the reason that you're not able sometimes to get to this place without a lot of mental work is because you don't think you actually belong here. You think it stops at the imagination. Well, the body cannot separate imagination from what's real. It doesn't know. That's why you can imagine sucking on a lemon, like I've said so many times in our videos, and immediately you get your mouth full of spit and saliva, and it's just like, oh my gosh, and you can sense the sourness and how strong it is. You can right now. That's because you're imagining yourself right here. And you're going, this is what it would be like. If you were to do that right now with your entire state of being and imagine yourself in a different place, your body would start to react like it was there now. See, some other kid either was told by his parents he couldn't do anything, and so he ran off pushing as hard as he could, or some little girl got told she could do everything, and she ran off with confidence, and then you're somewhere in the middle maybe. Your parents didn't tell you couldn't, they didn't tell you could, and so you're just kind of lost, right? Male or female, boy, girl, man, woman, old, young, at the end of the day, you have to imagine yourself seeing this as a possibility and seeing this past is what's behind you, a past of success. And the body likes to repeat what it's experienced because that's what's comfortable. So how do we get into repetition so that we can find a way to keep getting those happiness hits, right? If you think about the repetition, the way it works, repetition. If you think about the way it works, I like to draw these circles with the arrows all the time. When it over and over and over and over happens, what ends up happening is your body starts to create a program. And that program allows you to function at a higher and higher level, and it gets easier and easier. Why does it get easier? Because less and less of your conscious brain is being used, and more of your subconscious is being used. That's what exhausts you, is when you consciously have to think about it. So as that starts to happen more and more, and you start to imagine this past, and your body starts to repeat it because it wants that same hit of dopamine, adrenaline rush, whatever. If it keeps repeating it over and over, and you get further and further and further down the measurement of life, you start to look back at your past, and you start to say, that's not my past, this is my past, I'm claiming it. And oh my gosh, look at that next step of success. Look at that next step of success. Look at that next step of success. And you start to see it break through, and you start to say to yourself, I'm a big deal, oh my gosh. I'm happy. Oh my gosh, I pulled it off. I got somewhere. And you get a little bit of joy because you won. You won. Each one of these is a race. Each one of these little lines is a race to the next level. And as you keep pushing and keep going over and over and over, your mind starts to see it differently. I'm telling you right now, if you can just in a very, very simple way, I'm going to give you some steps. Replace your past. A lot of you, your past is telling you why it won't work. It's telling you right now and giving you an argument, as I teach on this video, why this can't happen. But if you were to swap it and then imagine it just totally, thoroughly in your body, what would happen is your body would start to feel it like it's real. Because your body doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's fake or imagined. So when you imagine bad news and things going on a bad path, when you hear bad news and it starts to manifest and starts to happen, that's why, because your body goes to make it happen. It doesn't know the difference. So it prepares for the worst. Prepare for the best. Are bad things still going to happen? Sure. But what does worry ever do to benefit you? Think about it. So if you replace your past right now, then what happens is, as you start to replace your past, it increases your belief, right? So as you go and you say, wow, maybe it's possible to, I think it could happen to, it's definitely going to happen, you'll see the incremental steps, which are these right here, right? And as those incremental steps start to happen, you're going to be able to see yourself and imagine success. As you imagine that success and you imagine yourself really being here, you start to expose the gap. When you start to expose this gap, you realize this is what you're fighting. That right there, that's what you're fighting. When you start to expose that knowledge gap of this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be, and you start to say, this right here, right? This is my, how do I do this? My facts, but this is the truth. If you chase facts instead of chasing the truth, you'll never get anywhere. You have to understand that while the facts may be that your business isn't doing well, or it's just doing okay, or it's doing good but not great, and then instead you were to look at this and go, you know what, this is the truth, you would see it differently. But what happens is when we sit there and just focus on the facts, the truth never gets a chance to come out. The truth is what you're capable of. The truth is what could happen, what can happen, what will happen. But you got to choose that. You're in charge. So you have to see the truth. So ultimately, you can program the body. And how do you program the body? You get the body to where it learns about a positive past. It learns positive history. And that positive history, it can then go into repeat mode, which is what it wants to do. That's the program. Once it does that, it allows you to go on and think about the next thing. And success becomes easier. And you can't figure out why. Why are all my employees working together? Why is all this coming together? I don't get it. This is why right here. You have to allow the program to start to happen. People go, Aaron, I've joined up. I started doing this, this, and this, and things started changing. I just don't understand. And I go, that's what's happening. It's the repetition. The program's changing. I promise you, if you start to let this stuff happen and manifest, you start to imagine a different past that's replaced this past. And you start to see yourself racing forward to the goal at this place, further down the line with success behind you. Everything will start to change, and you will feel winds starting to come into your body, and you will feel happiness. Because if you can close your eyes and you can imagine a lemonade, you can close your eyes and you can imagine success. And when you imagine success and you feel the success and you feel the happiness, your body goes, I want more. And it goes to repeat it again. But here's the crazy part. If you close your eyes and you imagine despair, your body will still say, I want more. The subconscious doesn't see the bad and the good like your conscious does. Because it will lead you down the same path that's horrible over and over and over because that's all it knows. It's a massive computer. All right, guys, focus and protect yourself. Focus on this stuff. Replace your past. Imagine your success. See the truth, not the facts, and program your body. I'm telling you, you're going to start to get more wins. You're going to start to see happiness having room in your life. You're going to be able to water that happiness and let it grow, and you're going to just see everything start to shift and change. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.